Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. I tell Janet that she can call me Martha Ann White. Hearing this, Melissa is surprised by the name and then says to me, "Martha, I will see you in about 2 hours," and leaves the salon. Janet says, "Okay, let's begin by giving you a shampoo. Please follow me." She walks me over to where the shampoo lady is. Then she introduces me to Pam, saying, "Pam, this is Martha, and to me, this is Pam. She will be washing your hair. After that, I will add your hair extensions, color your hair, and style it with some rollers. We will then put you under the blow dryer to set it. It will be easy for you to style every day." Pam tells me to lay back and begins to wash my hair. She rinses it, applies conditioner, and rinses again. She tells me to sit up and wraps a towel around my head. She walks me back to the chair where Janet unwraps the towel and hands it back to Pam. I say, "Thank you." Janet then begins to add the extensions to my hair, informing me that these are permanent and can only be removed by cutting. She starts putting them in. After finishing, she announces it's time to change the color of my hair. She applies the dye, covers my hair with a plastic bag, and I wait for about 30 minutes. Janet then calls Pam to rinse the dye from my hair. Back at the sink, Pam rinses out all the dye. Eager to see my hair, I return to the chair, but Janet doesn't let me see the mirror. She works on my hair, using rollers, and explains how easy the style will be to maintain. She assures me she will show me how to use a curling iron. After styling my hair, Janet walks me over to the hair dryers and turns it on. She then signals Karen and Lisa to work on my fingernails and toenails, respectively. By the time they finish, the hairdryer has done its job. Janet asks if I am ready to see the new me. I look in the mirror and I look so wonderful, wow. After looking at myself for a while, she shows me how to brush my hair so it looks good every day. Melissa returns and tips Pam, Karen, Lisa, and Janet for their work. She tells me, "Next time you come here, you need to tip everyone who worked with you. Do you understand?" I agree and apologize to the girls for not tipping. Melissa then asks how I like my new look. Surprised, I express my disbelief at the transformation. I can't believe it's me. Melissa suggests that makeup will enhance my appearance even further. Looking in the mirror, I agree that I need makeup. Thanking everyone for their amazing work, I look forward to my next visit, knowing Mrs. Winter, who has legally changed my name, won't let me go to a barbershop anymore. We leave the salon and head back home. At the apartment, I smooth my dress as I sit down and take off my high heels. Melissa is in the kitchen, beginning to make us dinner. As she's fixing dinner, she says to me, "You need to come into the kitchen. I'm not done talking to you about things you need to learn." As I enter the kitchen, I go to my chair and smooth my dress before sitting down. Melissa comments, "You have done a good job again. You know how to do it every time. So if you don't do it right, you will be scolded harshly. You shouldn't have to be told that you are doing it wrong. It seems natural to you now." She continues, "It's time that we start to work with your voice. You need to have a more feminine voice when you talk. So now I want you to talk in a softer tone." I begin to speak with a softer voice. "Now, just raise your pitch a little bit higher," she instructs. I adjust my voice again, and she says, "That's it. That will probably be the best you can do with that pitch. All right, now let's work on the words you say." We spend the whole time practicing, and she corrects me whenever needed. It's not long before I seem to do a good job with my voice, and she is happy with my progress. "You need to remember how to do it from now on," she tells me. "Miss Winter is going to be so happy with everything you have accomplished today." Soon, I start to set up the table for us to eat while she continues cooking, which takes about 45 minutes. When everything is ready, I go to the cabinet, grab the plates and silverware, and place them on the table. As she brings the food to the table, I try to serve her, but she stops me. "No, you need to learn how it is to be treated like a lady. I will serve you your plate," she says. After she serves me and makes her plate, she sits down. As I begin to eat, she corrects me, No, we do not eat like that. You need to take smaller bites and chew your food before you swallow." I begin to eat the way she instructed, and she gives me a smile for doing it correctly. After we finish supper, we pick up the dishes and head towards the sink. I will wash, and you will dry them, she says. As she washes the dishes and hands them to me, I dry them and put them away. After we finish, she begins to wipe down the sink, countertops, and the front of the refrigerator and freezer. You haven't cleaned these floors in a while, so we need to do that. Please get the broom and dustpan, she instructs. I go to the closet and get the broom and dustpan, and also grab the mop and bucket, anticipating the next task. Melissa looks at me and says, "Good girl. I was going to ask you for that too, but I forgot. I'm glad you thought of it. You are learning. I will keep helping you learn, and then you'll know how to keep your apartment clean from now on. You are now a woman to me and to Miss Winter, and soon it will be your legal name too. So you need to act, learn, and behave like a woman. You have done very well. Your mannerisms are very ladylike now, and I am pleased with what you have learned. Slowly, it will all become natural to you. You'll probably never learn everything about being a woman, but you will learn enough to get by without being recognized as a man, and I know that's going to make Miss Winter very happy. Because you need to know this information, always carry pads in your purse, even if you don't have your cycle. Someday a friend might need a pad or tampon, and you'll be able to help her. That's totally up to you. However, you should know it happens about every 28 days and lasts 5 to 7 days. You'll get a few signs that your period is about to come. Even though you'll never have a period yourself, I know when you get your surgeries, you'll never experience it. But you need this information because girls talk about it, and you should know what we're talking about. You don't want to be recognized or looked at weirdly. After she finished talking to me about everything she thinks I need to know, she told me it was time for her to go back to her place. I needed to go home because I have a class in the morning. I have to get up early and go see Mrs. Winter for my new job. I imagine she has phase 4, so I'm anxious to know what that is. By the way, tomorrow is Thursday, and it's only one day before your legal name and gender change are granted by the courts. The next day, when I arrive at the store, Miss Winter has all of my makeup, which will be mine from now on. There's no reason not to wear makeup every day. I see all of my makeup on the vanity, and she has set up a special room for me to learn how makeup will make me feel better about myself. She mentions that she wasn't satisfied with the pictures we took before and that we will have them taken again. I sigh, but she asks if I'm all right. I tell her everything is great, and I'm ready to start learning. Miss Winter begins with the primer, applying it to my face. Then she uses a sponge to apply foundation. She says we need to use a translucent powder to set the foundation so we can apply eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, blush, and lipstick. She shows me how to do my eyes, mentioning that we have to shape my eyebrows soon. She's surprised they didn't do that at the salon, but no problem, we can do it here. After shaping my eyebrows, she applies mascara and then blush to my cheekbones. She instructs me to blow out my mouth like I'm trying to blow a bubble and shows me how to apply and blend the blush. Then she shows me how to use lip liner, tracing my lips, followed by applying lipstick. She hands me a tissue to blot the excess lipstick, then applies lip gloss to my lips. Finally, she sprays my face with a setting spray and shows me the results. Now, she says to me, "It's your turn." She uses makeup remover wipes to remove all the makeup from my face. "Now I want you to practice. I don't expect perfection the first time, but we will take things one step at a time. If you don't do something right, we're going to wipe it off and you're going to start all over again, okay?" I tell her, yes, I understand what she's saying, so I begin to apply the primer to my face, and then I take the sponge and begin to apply my foundation to my whole face. She is very pleased with what I have done. Next, I take the translucent powder and slowly dust my face with it to set my foundation to my skin. Again, she is pleased with this. When I start to do my eyeshadow, I don't do a very good job. It takes about 4 times before she is satisfied with how I did it. Surprisingly, I get the mascara right the first time, both on the upper and lower lashes. Then we move on to the cheeks, and I remember to blow like I am blowing a bubble and apply the blush the correct way. She is not pleased with my first attempt because I put it on too high. She cleans it off and instructs me to try again. After a few attempts, she is finally satisfied. Now it's time to do the lips, and I'm really nervous about this. I don't think I can trace the lips the correct way, and I am right. It takes 5 times to get it right because when I begin to trace my lips, they don't look right. But we keep working on this, and then I finally get it right. We are both really excited about it. I then apply the lipstick correctly on the first try, take a tissue to blot my lipstick, and then I apply the lip gloss. She is pleased with my results. Finally, I take the setting spray and spray my face. She is satisfied. Good. Now you can go home, and I will see you tomorrow on Friday. With that, I go back to my apartment. Melissa is not there this time. I'm still wearing the makeup and start cleaning my face with the makeup wipes that Miss Winters has given me. I begin getting ready for bed and put on a different nightgown that Melissa has bought for me. I know eventually I'm going to have to do laundry because my pile of clothes is starting to build. I go to bed that night and wake up the next morning, kind of dreading the day because I know what is in store for me. When I arrive at the store on Friday morning, Miss Winter is excited about what she has for me. She hands me the court order granted by the judge, and I see that my name is now legal and my gender has also been legally changed. She hands me my second document, my new birth certificate, which now legally states my new name and shows that my gender is female. Then she gives me my new social security card. "We need to go to the MVD office to get your new driver's license," she says to me. With that said, we go to the MVD office and I go up to the lady behind the desk. I hand in my court order and my old driver's license. She then tells me to walk over to a certain area for my picture. She hands me back my court order and tells me to have a seat, saying she will call me when my license is ready. About 30 minutes later, she calls me and I go get my new driver's license. I show this to Miss Winter, who has come with me. I know the true reason why she came with me. She's making sure I do everything that I'm supposed to do. Then she tells me that now she can change all of my employment records to reflect my new name and gender now that everything has been changed and updated. And that's when she says, "Now we can begin your modeling career again." We go back to the store and start retaking all the pictures. Again, she tells me congratulations and says she looks forward to seeing me in about a week. Little do I know what she has planned for me this week. When I come back, I am surprised by what I hear. She begins to tell me that she has my U.S. passport and then says, "It's now time for you to prepare for the next phase of your journey. You are going to be traveling overseas now. Everything has been arranged for you, and Melissa will be going with you. I have made all the arrangements with her college to make it possible for her to go with you. Don't thank me now. You can do that when you come back. With that, your bags are packed here. Melissa knows that her bags are already packed too." That's when I see Melissa coming into the store. She grabs my bags and says, "It's time to go to the airport." Then I get in the car that Miss Winter has set up for us, and the driver starts heading to the airport. When we arrive, a person takes our luggage from the trunk. Melissa asks if I told Miss Winters goodbye. I say, yes, I did, and I told her that I will see her when I get back. No, I have no idea what is going to happen when we land in Bangkok, Thailand. After we have boarded the plane and are in the air going to Bangkok, Melissa tells me what is going to happen. I am surprised by what she tells me, that I'm getting a trachea shave, some facial reconstruction work done, and gender reassignment surgery. She tells me that this is the new updated version and that I only need to dilate for 1 year. I start to realize how much has happened to me, all because I decided to take a job so I could pay my rent and my bills, but I want this. I need this. I've known that this is what I always wanted, and I am just now realizing that soon my childhood dreams are about to happen to me. I'm afraid to say anything because I don't think Melissa will understand, so I don't say anything about everything. And it's not long before our plane lands. After we arrived in Bangkok, Melissa told me we needed to find the driver who would take us to the hotel. She informed me that the next morning we would be picked up by one of the doctor's staff. Melissa and I climbed into bed and were soon awoken by our alarm clock. She reminded me not to eat anything as we were heading straight to the hospital. Dressed for the day, we made our way down to the lobby and waited for the doctor's staff. Upon seeing the car pull up, we were informed by the concierge that our transportation had arrived. We got into the car and headed to the hospital. I felt nervous, but also anxious, as I was close to achieving what I had always wanted. In my hospital room, a nurse prepared me for surgery, and soon I was wheeled into the operating room. My anesthesiologist administered an IV, and that was the last thing I remembered before waking up post-operation. Melissa told me that I had been out for 10 hours and the surgeries took 8 hours. She advised me not to speak for a few days to avoid damaging the stitches, promising to speak on my behalf if needed. The staff encouraged me to start walking to regain circulation after my operations. Each day, my mobility improved. After 2 weeks, the doctor was ready to discharge me. He instructed me on daily routines and the need to find a gynecologist back in America. I packed the necessary equipment for my daily routine, and the same staff member who picked us up from the hotel took us back there. We checked out of the hotel, and she drove us to the airport for our flight home. Upon arrival, Miss Winter had arranged a car for us. A porter assisted with our luggage to the waiting car. The driver took me to my apartment first, helping with my luggage, and then took Melissa to hers. We both entered our apartments, left our luggage in the living room, and collapsed on our beds to sleep. The next morning, I started the regimen prescribed by my surgeon, a routine I needed to follow 4 times a day for the next year. Unsure if Melissa had college, I decided not to call her and let her rest. I called Miss Winter to inform her of our safe return and the successful procedures. Almost immediately after, my phone begins to ring. I answer and hear Melissa. She just got back from her last class of the day. She wants to come over, but says she is a little tired and will go to bed now. She'll be over after her last class tomorrow. I tell her I'm going to the store tomorrow to return to my job, and will be giving back the items Mrs. Winter gave me when this all began. I have to get ready for college tomorrow to make up all the work I missed, but it's all good, so don't worry. I want to be the first to welcome you to womanhood. So, Martha, congratulations, you are now legally a woman. I hope you enjoy your new life and want to share it with me. The next day, I return to the store. As I enter, I see Mrs. Winter coming to the front. She seems excited and happy for me. She begins to reveal who is really behind this whole thing. She tells me it was all set up by my sisters. Then, I see all of my sisters coming from the back of the store and then someone else. At first, I don't recognize her, but then I realize it's Melissa. My big sister Brenda says they always knew I really wanted to be a girl. With Mrs. Winter and Melissa's help, they made it possible. Mrs. Winter explains that most of the papers I signed didn't mean anything, but the real ones were necessary for my legal name and gender change, so I didn't have to stand before a judge. Since she is a notary, she certified those papers for the judge, and I didn't have to appear in person. The next paper I signed was for my new birth certificate with the name and gender change, and it also had my new name on the certified document. The next one was for my new Social Security card. The last paper was for the process of getting my U.S. passport so I could travel out of the United States legally as Martha. Then my sister Jennifer says they had to get Melissa to convince me to accept the modeling job. My youngest sister, Carrie, adds that she had a part in it, too. She helped set up the surgeon for the necessary procedures. Melissa and Mrs. Winter made sure everything was set up for me. Melissa says the hardest part for her was keeping a straight face and pretending she did not know what was going on, because she did. I was especially worried when you found that job listing. I thought for sure I wouldn't be able to convince you to go back to the job, but you listened to me. I want you to be my wife. Will you marry me? And I replied, yes, I will. That's when the minister began saying the vows to each of us. I was surprised that the minister was also there. After all the vows, when we both said I do, the minister pronounced us wife and wife. You may kiss your brides. My sisters and Miss Winter broke out in applause, congratulating us. After we got married, we moved in together. I continued to work for Miss Winter, and Melissa got a job as an executive assistant at one of the biggest companies in the business world. We had a happy life for as long as we lived. I won't say we didn't have our struggles, because we did. I passed away about a year before she did, but we had the greatest relationship. That's when nobody really remembered anything about Matthias. All the documents that were his were destroyed the same day Martha Ann White became official. My old self ceased to exist. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.